Welcome back to the finale of What If Qui-Gon Became a Force Ghost. Thank you to those of you who watched the first two parts. To recap what happened in those videos, in case you haven't seen either of them, the immediate transition of Qui-Gon into a Force spirit had enabled him to help the Jedi in their quest to defeat the recently revealed Sith. His apprenticeship under Dooku had also enabled him to give the Jedi the lead to find the clone army, and they destroyed the cloning complex on Kamino. But even with the clones out from Palpatine's plan, he has now started a new battle. As the Jedi Council stood around the holotable in the missions room, General Mace Windu began to lay out the plan to tackle the superior army, when they are interrupted by Qui-Gon. The Force Spirit deemed their plan to be too ambitious, and they needed to use a similar plan to the Battle of Naboo before fading away. Windu ignored the advice of Qui-Gon, as he believed that Dooku could not have built such a large number of resources in the short period since they destroyed Kamino, and the Jedi head out in their array of mismatched ships to the coordinates of the signal given by Palpatine. As they leave hyperspace, those aboard Mace Windu's cruiser looked at him in disgust, as Qui-Gon had been accurate about the size of Dooku's forces, and they began to sustain heavy fire, then begun to be drawn in by the tractor beam of the Separatist dreadnought. On the opposite side of the planet, General Kenobi had been oblivious to the issues of the other Jedi, as he had entered into his starfighter with his padawan, and they followed the wise words of Qui-Gon, targeting the droid control ship. Anakin tried to replicate what he had done on Naboo, but the fleet in front of him was impenetrable from the skies, and they tumbled to the ground beneath him in a blaze of fire. Once they crash-landed on the dry terrain, they had not even gotten to their feet before the sound of droids clicking in anticipation surrounded them. The tactical droid is about to order for their execution when the small starship of Yoda whisks past them, and the Grandmaster leapt out to scythe through the wave of droids, as he had also taken to the advice of Qui-Gon. With the help of the two Jedi, they shift their target to the Separatist anti-aircraft turrets, then take over them to fire at the ships entering the atmosphere. The Republic seemed to be gaining a foothold in the battle when the Jedi heard a lightsaber ignite behind them, and Dooku emerged to lift a large pile of rubble in the way of the Jedi, trapping Anakin, but Yoda just blocked it before they could reach Obi-Wan. The former master and apprentice dueled, as Obi-Wan continued to repel the incoming Separatist fighters and droids, then lifted the trapped Anakin to safety. As Jedi Master Luminar and Julie skidded to the floor in her starship, Obi-Wan ran through the dusty Yoda, but he did not need to, as the Grand Master just disarmed Dooku and ordered him to surrender. The former Jedi did not have time to make a decision, as from a cave behind him, Darth Sidious mockingly applauded the efforts of Yoda and removed his hood to reveal that it was in fact Palpatine. The Jedi could not hide their surprise at seeing the Chancellor being the Sith Lord, and he used their distraction to launch a lightning attack as the Jedi flew back into the rocks. Palpatine twirled his lightsabers and threw them at the Jedi, but they were stopped in midair by Anakin. Equipped with a bandage over his head, the Jedi had received the advice of Qui-Gon and escaped from the medical frigate to run to the battle, and here he was with a chance to end the Sith. As Dooku remained on the ground, Palpatine beckoned Anakin to join him and fulfill his destiny by taking his place at his side. Qui-Gon's words circled Anakin's mind, and the Jedi Knight diverted both of the lightsabers back into the Sith as they fell to the floor with shocked expressions on their faces. Anakin then guided the Jedi to their feet as they repelled the droids that had been diverted by the Separatist Alliance to the ground level, assisted by the surviving Republic ships. The Jedi Knight entered into his starfighter once more with his master, and together they destroyed the less protected droid control ship, and the Great Battle of Geonosis had been won by the Jedi. The Republic forces returned to Coruscant to a chorus of applause, as the Republic senators had been able to twist the events to redeem the reputation of the Jedi in the Senate. The Separatist politicians had been quickly rounded up, as their corruption had finally been proven after the deaths of Dooku and Palpatine, but in the Jedi Temple, the loss of many Jedi had not been forgotten. The ghost of Qui-Gon appeared again, and Yoda decides to embark on his own journey to achieve immortality, as Qui-Gon guided him through to meet the Force priestesses and the subsequent trials. The Jedi Grandmaster returned from his journey, realising that there had been so much more knowledge of the Force, which the rest of the Order could learn, and the Jedi needed to change, were they to stop the Sith from returning again. That is it for What If Qui-Gon Became a Force Ghost. If you enjoyed this What If, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.